Cordisco's Corner Store is hosting its 5th annual chess championship. The Broome County Chess Championship Francis Cordisco Memorial got started over the weekend. Organizer John Cordisco says it's an opportunity for chess fans, both experts and newcomers, to test their level of skill. There are 2 sections depending on level of play, and both have cash prizes for the top 3 winners.
We draw some really good players. There's some pretty good players in this county, and it's a very high quality chess compared to the number of people in the area. It's a great tournament, and I encourage people to come down and just to watch if they want.
The second and final round is this Sunday from 10 until 4, and it takes place at Cordisco's Corner Store at 308 Shenango Street in Binghamton.
This is the Tigran Petrosian International Chess Tournament. It's a memorial tournament from November 4th through November 11th, 2014. A lot of great players in this one. Grischuk, Aronian, Kramnik, Karyakin, just to name a few. It's a great tournament, and I hope you enjoy the games. Hi folks, John Cordisco back again. Another game from round 1 of the Tigran Petrosian Memorial 2014. This one between Alexander Grischuk from Russia as white, and Ernesto, and I have no doubt I'm going to butcher this name, Inarkiev as black. It's going to be an English opening. Let's get to it. Grischuk, Inarkiev. Excuse me. Go through the opening here a little bit. Pawn takes, castles, knight a3. There's no way you can save the pawn, so c5, knight takes, knight c6, b3, and castles. Bishop b2, bishop d7. This simple development. My Fritz 13 is on off screen. It's about 2/3 of a pawn advantage for white. Nothing fantastic here. The thing I don't like about this so far is white's lack of center pawns. d4, there we go. Rook c8, d takes, bishop takes, knight d6. Now what do you do with that? Do you take it? Do you move the rook? What do you do? And he moved the rook, which is the right move according to the computer anyway. Rook c1, b6 to guard the bishop. That's a pretty good spot for that bishop. It's on a pretty good diagonal right here. And that knight is covering a lot of good squares. Here, 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 and here. That's a pretty good knight. Knight g5, doubling up on the f7 pawn with both knights. Queen e7. What to do, what to do? Bishop takes f6 is the computer's choice, or knight to b5. Grischuk decided to go knight gd4, hitting the other knight. Knight takes, rook d8. Now, I'm not so sure there what to do with that. He's hitting the dark squared bishop, and there's really no place for the bishop to go, so he's going to end up getting it anyway. So knight takes c5, b takes. It does isolate these 2 pawns, and that's pretty good. And you had the bishop pair both, so Grischuk has done pretty good so far. Over a point advantage for white. Queen e1. Rook comes back. Queen comes up. Knight d4. Rook comes to protect the pawn. He's going to chase the knight away here soon. f6, e3, knight b5, hitting the queen. Well, what to do with the queen? Queen c2, queen a5. Grischuk decides queen a5 is the best choice. Bishop comes back. You want to keep this rook guarding this open file here. Rook e to d1. Computer liked a4. Then after queen c7, queen takes, knight takes. If rook had taken instead, pawn takes, bishop takes, bishop a3, and of course white's up a piece. After rook e to d1, queen c7, queen takes, rook takes. Again, if rook had taken, rook takes, king 7, a4, you're down a rook. After rook takes d1, rook takes, knight takes the queen. Rook c1, there we go. You're going right after the isolated pawn, first thing. And right now it's on a dark square, so that bishop can't help out much. So you're going to guard it? What are you going to do? Rook to d8. Bishop c3. Knight hits the bishop. Bishop goes to a5, hitting the rook. Knight goes there. Now you don't want to take that, of course, because after pawn takes, you reconnect his pawns, and you don't want that to happen. Bishop f1. Bishop g6. And this is part what I have trouble with as an amateur player. I'm only about a 1550 rated player, USCF. How do you formulate a plan from here? Computer calls for f3, and that's what Grischuk does. Second choice is h3, f3, rook c8. Again, if the rook had taken the pawn, rook d1, king, bishop checks, f3, bishop takes, king takes, rook takes, king g2, rook b1, and now white's got an isolated pawn. Tidy advantage for white, but it's not really worth all that effort. Rook c8 guarding the pawn, bishop a6 hitting. Rook comes up, bishop c8, b4. Now obviously he can get a perpetual, kind of with a perpetual on the rook, but Grischuk's way too smart of a player, and it's too good of a position for him to do that. c4, pushing the pawn through. Bishop takes, pawn takes, rook takes. It might as well be isolated because this pawn can't advance. Rook takes. If bishop had taken instead, king f8, and you're going to lose the bishop. As you can see, the rook can't go here to a light square, protecting the bishop because of this bishop. That would lose a piece. If your rook takes, rook d8, rook d4, offering a trade. Of course, he won't do that. a4. Now this is where Inarkiev stumbles. Rook c3. And now it's an almost 3-point advantage for white. Rook d6. Perfect move. Rook takes. If he had checked, it really doesn't mean much, because after king, check, king, check, king, check, rook d2, and that's it, it's over. Rook d6, rook takes, king f2, rook b3, rook takes, rook checks, king e3, check, king d4, e5 check. If rook had taken b4, king c5, rook b1, a5, rook c1, d6, it's over. After e5 check, king to c5, rook takes the pawn, bishop checks, king f8, king d6, here comes the king, bishop e8, and rook b8. And there's nothing that black can do to stop bishop b5. The bishop's pinned against the king. They're going to lose this piece. So that's where black threw in the towel. Anyway, good game by Grischuk. This was his first win in the tournament so far, round one. He's pretty close to the 2,800 mark. I don't think he's ever been over that. So Grischuk's made a lot of progress in the last year. I believe he's in top 4 now. Anyway, folks, that's one of the games from round one. And I want you all to remember, if you think chess is just a game, you're not playing it right. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.